G'day viewers. I just wanted to show you a website that myself and my very good friend Elsa have made for a unit at QUT called CAB230 Web Computing. I just wanted to show it and give a bit of a demonstration and talk about what we did and um, yeah, just want so it could be added to the list of projects that I've done. So I'm just going to open up the URL now. So this assignment was we had to pick like a data set from like a council open data kind of thing. So we could pick a data set like parks, Wi-Fi hotspots, dog parks, um, sport, public art, things like that. And basically, we get the data set. And we have to make a website that shows you can search through the data set, see items, rate items, or leave reviews on items. Yeah, so you have to be able to log in, leave a review, and everyone else can see that review. Yeah, and everyone can search through Parkz. So this is our website. This is the home screen. I'll just refresh it again. So the first time on the home page, the first thing happens is it shows the 12 highest rated parks. Nice map of them all. With click on them, we've got like a custom info window there. So here are all the parks here. If we open one, see like this is the item view. I spend a lot of time, or we spend a lot of time doing it, making it really nice looking. I think it's really nice looking. I don't know. Other people have different opinions. So this is like an individual item page. This is where you leave a review. So it's got like average rating. Average rating shown as a number, shown as a percent, like an out of 5 stars, and then how many people have left a review. So a few of my mates have left a sample review. Some of them are a little bit silly, so don't read them. We kind of, for this website, we only covered the basic. We covered all the criteria, and the only thing we added was the ability for you to be able to delete, like have a profile page and be able to delete reviews that you've left, and also like a contact page that actually works. Apart from that, we just followed the criteria, so we didn't go above and beyond too much because of time limitations. Obviously, I've got other subjects to do. So if I log in, it's gonna hold the camera and do this at the same time. It's gonna be fun. Lindsay password. I'm not telling you that. Okay, so now I'm logged in, and just so the login button's changed to log out, obviously. If I go to my profile, I can see the reviews that I've left. So I've left a review on Prospect Terrace Park, which is right near my house, and Oval just down the road. So it shows with every review, it shows it when it was posted, and when you leave a review, you can choose what date the park was visited on. I can delete those by clicking that. I won't do that because I want to keep them, but I can make a review. So I'm going to search for parks near me. So this uses geolocation, obviously, the geolocation API in web browser. So I'm going to go to this one. So no one's left a review yet. Oh, that's a cool thing. Like, so okay, just go back there. Musk Avenue Park. Yeah. Whoops. Like the page loads like showing half the map, and you can scroll up to see the whole map. That's a cool thing. I like. I used to like about Google Plus. I think used to do that when you viewed pages or profiles. Had like a cover image that would fill the whole screen, but only when you first loaded the page, only show half of it. I thought that was a really cool feature, so I added that in. Not too hard. So you can leave a rating. I made these stars in JavaScript, by the way. That was pretty cool. I was happy with myself when I made that. So you can like click and it stays there, or hover. It only stays there if you click, so 4 stars. And this is the HTML5 thing in Chrome for picking a date. So down Saturday the 2nd of May. Leave a review. Might just say good. Right, can't be bothered typing too much. And it's notice the JavaScript validation there. Oh, actually, I'll show you on the contact register page. It's more exciting. Anyway, some more reviews there now. So they've already left a review, obviously. So I can't leave another one. If I go to my profile, there she is. I can delete it if I want. So to demo, one of the things that I went a bit nuts on was JavaScript validation. It's actually, well, if I'm allowed to say so, it's actually really, really good. I'm really proud of myself for making it. So what it is basically, I'm not sure. So go to the source code. So here's the form. On each of our inputs, we've got this data validation tag. So I made all this stuff. So what it is you put in some parameters. So for this one, the name, we've got REQ, separated by space, all these parameters. So REQ, required, space length, 0 to 45, and regex name. So that means the field must be filled out, must have a length between 0 and 45, and must match the regular expression I've already preset for name. And I can show you the JavaScript in a minute. But and that you can see that happens on a couple other fields like email. This one's got phone, and the text area just has a length and required. Any characters can go into it, right? So what it does is every time you type a character in, see, this contains invalid characters. If I put valid characters, good, until it gets too long. And so until all these fields show good, the submit button won't be able to be clicked. Obviously, you can get around this by turning off JavaScript, but obviously we have PHP validation as well, which works in a similar way, although it doesn't have to be as pretty to the user. Obviously, it's not. So although these phones fields say good, if I start typing letters into them, because they're not required, they'll say good if they're empty. So I can put characters in, invalid characters. Otherwise, I can start typing my phone number and no worries. I'll just fill this out. Say hello. So nice, successfully sent message, and then go to the page again. Oh, that's it. What else can I show? I can show you some of the code, which would be kind of cool. Go log out. Oh, that was one of the really cool things we made is the login pop-up. So on any page that comes up, it logs in asynchronously, and then once it's logged in, it reloads the page. Obviously, things like the login button and things that are hidden to guest users are shown again when you reload the page. So it's easier just to reload than to like dynamically change anything on the fly. I'm just looking for the code over here in Google Drive. So I'm going to show you that validation code. It's kind of cool. I think it's cool anyway. So here it is. This is it here. So it's basically just a big class. Oh, and I'll just show you the contact.php. Where is it? Trying to look through the camera. There it is. This is the HTML for it. As you can see again, we've got, how do I scroll over there? This is a bit of a fail. Wait. There, okay. So as you see, each field has a data validation thing on it. And obviously some of them don't, not all of them have required for this form. And the only JavaScript you need is this. So you call the form validation function, or it's actually kind of like a class, more like on the contact form. And that $sign there, that's not JSON as such, that's just a shortcut to the query selector. Where is it? Got here in my code somewhere. Oh yeah, that's it. So this select JSON, the jQuery selector is probably the most handy thing from jQuery. So, but HTML, more recently, JavaScript's included this query selector function, which does basically the same functionality. Returns a single element. This returns a list of matching elements. So single $, double sign, shortcuts to those make it easy to select elements based on like a similar to like a CSS selector. So my form validation class, I got a whole heap of just a associative array of regex presets up here. Obviously, you can add more. So the first thing it does is it finds the submit button. It just looks for a thing with type equals to submit on it, and it uses that. It disables that and enables that depending on whether the form is valid or not. This is all the code for it. It's not really that complicated. This is the main part here. Sorry, I just missed a bit. Like, for every field, it just sets an on input listener or an on change listener if it's a checkbox or radio button. That each time you change or put input into any text field that requires validation, it validates the whole form. I just found that was easier because, for example, with passwords, you want to make sure they two fields match. If you change one, the other one needs to be checked too. So I just thought I'd just run the whole form. It's not that intensive anyway, so it happens pretty quick. So do validation is the function that actually does the validation, obviously. So basically, this is a case structure. Like if it's doing length validation, it does this part here. So it gets the min and max out of the length, out of the parameter, and it returns a helpful message like must be longer than the min characters, must be shorter than the max characters, blah blah blah. It's all fairly easily understandable. And for radio buttons, it's kind of cool. I added that in. Obviously, only one radio button can be selected, and that's enforced by the browser, but it just makes sure that one is selected out of the three, and only one in case something's gone wrong there. And you can see that on the register page. I've got radio buttons. As soon as I pick one, it goes good. But I don't have a default one selected, just to demonstrate that. This is my other cool class for stars. So basically you have an element like this in your HTML using font awesome stars, and each one has to have an ID. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And basically what it does is when you hover, let's go back here. When you hover over it, they all have on mouse over listeners set. When you hover over one, it gets the ID of that, and then gets the ID of that one and it highlights that many stars in that group of 5 stars. So obviously if you hover over the one with ID 3, it just has to highlight up to ID 3 and that's it. So if I click on it, it's now been, it just did a search, but it's now been set to 3 and it won't go off 3 unless you click a higher or lower one. And that's basically like on click, change the number of permanently set stars up to 4. And then when you hover over the 5th one, just highlight up to the 5th. When you move out, clear the stars and fill back up to the permanently filled one. It's all pretty cool, I think. I might publish my rating stars JavaScript and form validation on my GitHub, just because I think it's useful. I know there's a lot of libraries out there for form validation, but I might as well have a bit of a go. Yeah, that's about it. I'm obviously very proud of this achievement. So, thanks.